Present your screen.
Yeah, are we live now?
Hello.
Hello, are we live now?
Yeah. Yes, Pawan. We are live now.
Okay.
I think no, still no.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, now we are live, Pawan.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, Pawan.
Okay, fine. Thank you for the confirmation.
Uh,
Chalo, Chalo Arjun, kindly go on mute, please.
I'll go to mute. Okay.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. The participants who have joined for the training session for the day, welcome you all. We'll be starting the session in just next 5 minutes, so that couple of more people once they join, then we can kick off the session for the day. Hi Nisha, thanks for joining the session. Good morning. Good morning Ganesh, thanks for joining. Yeah, hi Kalwa, thanks for joining. Good morning. Hey, hi Ram, thanks for joining. Hi Nagesh, good morning, thanks for joining. We'll be starting the session at 12:05. All right. Hey, hi Prasad, thanks for joining. Hi Shreyas, thanks. Good afternoon. Yeah, Ganesh, we'll try to share you the PPTs. Hey, hi Megha, thanks for joining. Good afternoon. Hello Renu, thanks for joining. Hello Deepak, hello Mahesh. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. Hello Rajeshwari. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Hi Chetan. Okay, thanks for the confirmation, guys. Thanks Vikram. Thanks Harsh. Thanks Nikhil. Thanks Bhavya. It should have been. It should have been definitely, but sometimes due to some network glitch, there might be some problem. Do we have any option to mute the mic? I'm not able to see the option. Deepak, anyway, you're on mute only. Yeah. Good morning, Krishna. Good afternoon, Shailendra. Thanks for joining. Okay, in next 2 minutes we'll kick off the session for the day. Hello, Suman. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. Hi, Nupur. Good afternoon. Yeah, hi, Akhil. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon. Yeah, Siddharth, I have not shared my original screen. This is the tool from which you are connected. So that is why screen inside screen, frame after frame. So no worries. Hi, Jason. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon. All right. So I think we can kick off the session for the day. Let's not waste the timing because all of your working professional, your time is also very much precious. So, hi Surya, thanks for joining. So let us kick off the session for the day. I'll not bore you with so much of PPTs and so much of theoretical. This is not the way I train people. My way of training is complete practical. So if you're not serious or if you're not attentive or kind of, so be more attentive and yes, let us record the session also. Thank you for reminding. So let us record the session also. So post the session, you can get the recording of the session as well. Yes, so recording we have started for the session. Yeah, Akhil, I'll post the link over here from where you will get the recording. Let me post right now also so that you can keep that particular link ready with you. This is the link of our website. Okay, kindly keep handy that link. If you want the recording of today's session, you can go to that particular link. This is our website called skillupright.com. There you will be getting all the recording. There you will be getting our Facebook page link also. So there in the Facebook page also we'll upload the recording of the session, whatever session we do for the corporate employees. All the recordings will be available onto the Facebook page itself. So kindly go to that website link or kindly click onto the Facebook page also, and like our page and follow our page, so you will be getting all the updates for the upcoming sessions, whatever session we are going to conduct. Yeah, I think there will be some delay because of that tool only. So no worries. Let me show you that page only, that website link only. Yeah, I've shared the link into the chat section only, Paras. That link is available in the chat section only. You can get that link from there. I request to all the participants kindly copy that link and get it handy, because all the recording and all the upcoming details will be available into our website. Let me show you our website itself. In that way you will be landing to this page. So you just have to click over here the Facebook page itself. Once you go to that, see here, you have to click over here to go to our Facebook page, and this is our Facebook page. All right, the page name is Master Tableau with Skill Upright. So this is our company's page or the training institute page itself. Kindly like this page and follow this page so that you can get all the upcoming recordings and all the upcoming updates. All right, so kindly keep that link very much handy. Thank you so much, guys. So let us not waste the time, because all of your corporate people are very busy, so we should not waste our time. So we are here to discuss about one of the BI technology called Teradata, right? So we'll slowly try to understand what is Teradata, why we are using Teradata, and we'll also see a case study also. Well, I'll be explaining you that case study by doing a practical. Okay, I will not talk much about theory because this is not the way I train people. I always believe on practical rather than just speaking on the like a puppet, like reading a book and all. So first of all, try to understand some basic theory, very basic and very short and brief, and then we'll directly jumping upon to the practical. Why we use Teradata? First of all, Teradata is a BI tool, right? When I say Teradata is a BI tool, so it's a business intelligence tool itself. When I say business intelligence, what do I mean by that? See, this is the end-to-end diagram. This is the end-to-end diagram of your data flow. So when I talk about the business intelligence tool, there are a couple of tools which comes under business intelligence. Okay. What is the meaning of business intelligence? First of all, the meaning of business intelligence is that you are doing some input to the business, to the end business, so that they can grow into their business. You are giving them some insight from your data. You are giving them some insight information so that they can take their business decisions, that what needs to be changed. For example, you have a couple of DMarts are there. Okay, you're working, or there is a business who's working on Walmarts. So there are four Walmarts, and all the data is coming from different Walmarts. One is sending data into the Excel file, the other one is sending into the Walmart, the other one is sending in the Oracle format, and the other one is sending into the XML. So first of all, which kind of data is coming from the Walmart? The day-to-day business. Today, let's suppose Walmart one have done a business for 1 lakh rupees. So they are sending in the Excel format. Today, Walmart two have done a business of 50,000 rupees. So all the details will be there into their files, into their data, which product they have been sold, what is the product which was sold maximum, what was the product which was not at all sold, which was the salesperson which has done the maximum sales, okay, which is the Walmart which has done the maximum sales or minimum sales. So these kind of data analysis data will be there into these files. Now you are taking that data and you are accumulating the data using ETL tool. Now what is ETL? ETL is an extraction, transformation and loading tool, which is called as Informatica. Informatica is an ETL tool which accumulates your data, which is coming from the different data sources, that accumulates the data at a single place, scrub your data, clean your data as per your requirement, as per the business requirement, and finally load your data into data warehouse. Okay. I hope that point is clear. Informatica gets your data, clean your data, and load your data into data warehouse. Now, what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is nothing but a database only. And here, for loading the data, you are using an RDBMS tool. That is your Teradata. Teradata is an RDBMS tool. When I say RDBMS, what do I mean by that? RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. Okay, so Teradata is an RDBMS tool where your different data is coming from different sources, and finally it is loaded into a RDBMS tool called Teradata. Now, once my data is loaded into Teradata, then the data goes for reporting purpose. For your analysis, just a minute. Okay. So once your data is loaded into this Teradata, all right, then that means once your data is loaded into your data warehousing, then data goes for reporting purpose, for your analysis purpose, for your reporting purpose, and for your data mining purpose. And that's where Tableau comes into the picture. Once your data is ready for the reporting purpose, then business wants some report. Business will not go to the Teradata and then do select star from this table and see the data. What was the sales done for this product? What was the sales done? Minimum sales or maximum sales for which Walmart? They want a straight away report on their desk, on their system. You do us an analysis and you tell us what was the report or what was the status for yesterday. And that's where Tableau comes into the picture. You give them different views of the reports, different visualization of the report. Okay, so this is how BI family works. This is how the tools works. This is how the technology works in BI technology. Now today we are here to discuss about the Teradata, how you load the data into Teradata database. Okay, so let us try to understand that how Teradata loads the data. So let me give you a look and feel for Teradata itself. Okay, I'll put it the screen on the full screen mode. If you're facing some challenging challenges with some audio and all, so kindly disconnect and kindly try to connect one more time, or check with your network connection. All right, there might be a slower network connection, so that is why you're not able to hear. So I was discussing about the Teradata only. So let me give you a look and feel for Teradata. This is the look and feel for Teradata. All right, this is a practical tool installed in my laptop. So let's also work on the concept of SQL, that is your structured query language. Let's suppose some data has been loaded into my employee table. If I want to query that data, then I have to just select that query and I have to press F5, and that data is available for me. Right? What is the employee ID? What is the employee name? What is the grade? What is the salary? And what is the designation? So this is how your data gets loaded into your Teradata Teradata software only. So this is kind of you get the feel of Oracle, but yes, Oracle is made for some different purposes. This is for OLTP application, then this is for OLAP application. When I say the Teradata is made for OLAP application means that you store historical data over here for last 1 year of data, 2 years of data, 5 years of data, so that you can see the trend of data, so that you can see the trend of the data. What was the sales done for last 5 years? What was the sales done for last 10 years? Who was the good salesperson? Which Walmart have performed really well? Which area have done really good, so that we can continue with this Walmart? Which is the area in the US or which is the area in the India which is not really doing good for our business purpose, so that we can shut down that business. So this is the business decisions which has to be taken care, and that business decision has to be taken with the help of this trend analysis, with the help of this data which is available in your Teradata, right? So Teradata is a database itself which store your data, but it is used for old OLAP application, so that some historical data can be kept over here. It has a huge capability to store your data because there is a concept in Teradata called AMP. Okay, that is called access module processor. You just increase the number of amps and then you can increase the number of data, the number of rows you have, right? So this is to store the historical data. This is your Teradata. Now we'll see a case study how we can load the data. All right, let me open that PPT for you. Today in the Teradata, we will be talking about the Teradata, one of the Teradata utility called fast load. Okay, we'll be looking onto that only. I will try to cover as maximum as possible in a very short span of time. So I'm talking about the one of the utility in Teradata which is called fast load. Now, what is a fast load, and first of all, what is a utility in Teradata? That should be clear. So let us discuss about the Teradata utility. What is a Teradata utility? I am discussing here about the Teradata utility. So what is a utility? Let's suppose for a practical example, I have millions of rows in my text file, in my Excel file, right? And I want to load that millions of rows from my text file to a Teradata table so that further reporting can be done onto that data. So what is the convenient way? Will I write 1 million insert statement for the data? This is not the convenient way, right? I have to load millions of rows on a daily basis from a text file or from an Excel file to a Teradata table. Then I'll be using Teradata fast load utility. There are multiple utilities available, and in different scenarios you will be using multiple utilities. Once you want to load the data from your source file, from your text file, from your Excel file to your Teradata table. So what are the utilities which we have in Teradata? There are 5 utilities which are available in Teradata. Or all right. So there are multiple utilities which are available in Teradata. The first one is fast load. The second one is multi-load. The other one is BTQ. The other one is fast export, and the other one is TPT. Okay, so in today's session, we'll be discussing about fast load only, and I'll run the practical example for fast load also, that how your rows can be loaded from a text file to a table. Now, what is a fast load and what is the constraint for fast load? There always been some rules and regulation for every utility. All right. You're working in a corporate world. So in the corporate worlds also, there are some rules and regulations. There are some constraints which needs to be followed. You have to be dressed up really well. Okay, your shoes should be polished, your hair should be not much longer. So in that way, there are some constraints and rules and regulation you have to work upon if you're working in your corporate environment. So in the similar way with any kind of technology, there should be some rules and regulation for each and every technology, right? So what are the rules and regulation for fast load? There are some constraints for the fast load. Fast load can only load a single table at a time. Fast load can load only a single table at a time. What is the second one? Target table which you are going to load should be empty. There should not be any data onto the target table. That is the second rule for fast load. What is the third rule? The third rule or the third constraint is fast load does not load duplicate record. It will reject the duplicate record or it will skip the duplicate record. So if there is a specific requirement that I do not want to load my duplicate data, then I will be going with the fast load. So fast load does not load duplicate record and it will reject or it will skip the duplicate record. All right. So these were the constraints which you have to keep in your mind, and these are the rules and regulation which you have to follow. The fast load can only load a single table at a time, and target table which you're going to load, that should be empty, and the fast load does not load the duplicate record. So if there is a specific requirement from the business that we do not want to duplicate data into a target table, then definitely you will be going for the fast load only. Now there should be a question coming from you, that why the second utility called multi-load? This one is fast load, then why it is called multi-load? Since fast load can only load a single table at a time, but multi-load utility can load multiple table at a time. That is why it is called multi-load. That is the first difference between fast load and multi-load. So if you're going for an interview for Teradata, if someone asks you what is the difference between a fast load and multi-load, then the basic difference between the fast load and multi-load is fast load can load only a single table at a time, but multi-load can load multiple tables at a time. This is the first difference. The second difference is the target table should be empty. There should not be any data in your target table which you are going to load. But as far as your multi-load is concerned, if there is a data available in your target table, in the destination table, then also we can go for multi-load. All right. So there are different pros and cons as far as your fast load and multi-load is concerned, but we are not going to discuss about multi-load today. We are only going to discuss about fast load. So I hope the basic rules and regulation which needs to be followed as far as fast load is concerned is quite clear to you. Now let us see by a practical example how we can run a fast load utility and how we can load the data into our target table. All right. Now to run the fast load script, okay, just let me show you the data which is available. Let me open it into the notepad file. All right. This is the data which you are going to load in your target table. I hope it is quite clear to you, or let me zoom in a bit. This is the data which you are going to load in your fast load table. What is the rows? Employee number, employee name, grade, address, salary, and department number. You can load millions of rows using fast load. Just for the sake of our example, we are taking just how many rows? 11 rows. Now, if your observation skills are really good, if you can observe something over here, you can observe last two rows are duplicate. If your observation skills are really good, then you can observe the last two rows are duplicated, and the first one is header. This is the header, and these two rows are duplicated, right? 131 Robert A Nagpur 48,000 and department number is 30. So now how fast load will behave with the duplicate row, how whether the fast load will load the duplicate row or not, what will happen? Okay, we'll see. So I hope the data which we are going to load is quite clear to you. Before loading the data itself, before loading the data itself, let me show you the fast load script. Some script has to be run before loading the data. Some script has to be, we will trigger some script that will take this file and that will load the data into your target table. So first of all, we need to understand that script, what is written into that script only, and then only we'll be able to run the fast load script. We'll be not running the fast load script, just I'm running the fast load script and your data get loaded and we are succeeded. No, I'll be explaining you the code of fast load as well. What is written into that script? That is the key, that is the magic point, right? So this is the script of fast load. Let me open that script. And let me zoom in a bit so that you can see it quite clearly. So this is the script for fast load. I'll be explaining you the script step by step, what is written into that script, so that you can understand what is written into the fast load script. Okay, this is called session. What is a session? Session means I'm requesting two sessions from Teradata, that give me two sessions so that I can block that session and I can load my data. Okay, so two sessions have been requested. What is error limit 40? Error limit 40 means that maximum up to 40 errors. If I'm running a script, there might be a possibility that my script will fail, right? So at maximum 40 errors I can catch using this script. Now what is that dot logon? Whatever command is starting with dot, this is the specific command to the Teradata itself. So dot logon command means you are logging into that particular Teradata environment, and this is the IP address of this database. This is the IP address of this database on which you are loading, on which you are logging in, and this is the ID and this is the password, right? Now what is a database project? The database on which I'm working upon, the name of the database is project itself. So I have to specify the database name itself. Now what is that dot record? What is that dot set record vertex comma? What is that? That signifies that my file, my source file is a comma separated file. The source file which I have showed you, the source file which we are going to load, it's a comma separated file. That is why I have written a comma over there, right? So because it's a comma separated file, I have given dot record where text is equal to comma. Now what is that? There are some staging table to be made, there are some error table to be made. So these are the error tables where I can catch my errors. Okay, so I have given a drop statement because if these tables are already made, then first the Teradata will drop this table and again we'll create a new table from the very beginning. So these are nothing but the error table where I can catch my errors if my script fails. All right, now this create statement is very easy. You will get to know that what is the create statement. If you're working on any database project or if you are very familiar with the SQL, This is nothing but we are creating a target table. Okay, we are creating a target table on which our data is going to be loaded. Now, what is a primary index? So primary index and secondary index, this is a separate topic which we will cover in the Teradata advanced courses. Okay, just for your understanding, what is the primary index? That data is get distributed into the tables with the basis of that index. The lemon example which I can give you as far as the index is concerned, your copy, your notebook, in your notebook, the first page is index page only, right? Why that index page is given? The index page is given because you write onto your index page that okay, this topic is written on the page number 76. So I don't have to scroll my page one by one. I'll go to my index and I'll check, okay, this particular topic has been written on the page number 76. So I'll directly go to my page number 76 and I will find that topic in a very minimum time. In that way, my time will not be wasted. The similar concept is used in Teradata, that you have prepare a primary index onto a table, and that primary index, the Teradata will get to know, okay, you are querying the database with this particular employee number. So Teradata has an index. This employee number has put it into some this memory. So I have directly go to this memory and I have to directly fetch the data at a very minimum time so that the time of the user will not be wasted. Similar concept is applied over here. Now there are multiple indexes are there, so it's an in-depth concept which we'll be covering into the advanced classes. Now, what is that record to? Record to means nothing. You will load the record from the second line, not from the first line, but from the second line itself. This is your record to. Now you are defining your columns. These are the columns and these are the where columns. All right. Now, statement here you have to specify the path of the file where the data is kept. My data file name is employee1.txt and that employee1.txt is kept onto this particular path. So I have to specify the complete path and the file name. Now from here my loading will start, begin loading. Okay, checkpoint is 100. That means I have 500 records. And if my script get fails and if 100 records are loaded, then it will not start the loading of the record from the first line. It will start the record, loading the record from the 101 record. That is why checkpoint 100. For every 100 records to be loaded, it will do a check. Everything is good, then do commit over here. Okay, this is your checkpoint 100. Now as far as this statement is concerned, this is a very easy and simple statement. Insert your data into this column and here end loading and you are logging off. All right, so this is a very basic and very easy to understand fast load script where you can just write that script and you can load millions of rows from your source file to your target table, into your target table. All right, so now I hope this source file is clear. Now we'll run that source file. All right, we'll run that source file and we'll see whether the record are loaded or not. Let me close that file, that source file. Now to run that source file, to run that script, what do? Let me go to the command prompt. Let me type cmd on Windows. This is my command prompt. So what I have to do is I have to go to that path where my Teradata script is kept. Where my Teradata script is kept, this is the path where my Teradata fast load script is kept. I have to just copy that path. I have to come here and I have to just type cd command. Let me zoom in. So I have to type a cd command and let me just paste that path. I am into that path only where my Teradata data file and my source file, the coding file will be kept. How do I get to know whether all the files are available or not? Just give a dir command. What is a dir command? Just to list the files. So all the files are there. This is my employee1.txt where my data is kept, and this is my employee load.txt where my fast load script is kept. All right. Now what I can do is to run my fast load script, I just have to write fast load and the name of the script. What is the name of the script? The name of the script is fastload.txt. And this is the name of my script. What I did is I just pressed Ctrl C for copy and I just did a right click. So this is the syntax to run a fast load script. Fast load then less than bracket, then the name of the script, and then the greater than bracket. And I can also give the log file name. I want a log file should be generated. So if my script get fails, I can see that log file, what is the error. So let me give the log file name as Pawan 111.txt. My name is Pawan, that is why I'm giving Pawan. You can give any name to your log file, or else I can give .log file. Okay, any name you can give, but the script name should be similar, the fast load script name. And let me press enter. Okay, it's done. So now let me check the log file. What has happened? This is the Pawan 111 log file which has been created. You can see the timing 22nd of July 12:32, right? Now let me open that log file. One by one, we'll try to analyze what have actually happened. Okay, database project, you have logged in successfully. Okay, you have logged in successfully. Now, what is that? Database project, it has taken the name of the database also, that is well and good. Now, we have created a table, command successfully, that means the table has also been created. Now, this is the file name which we have given. Everything is going very smooth as of now, no issues reported. Now, this is the area which will give you the complete analysis, what have actually happened. What has happened? There were total 11 records in my file. This is the analysis which we are doing. There were total 11 records was there in my file, skipped by RDBMS record command. Because since you have given a record 2, that means the header was skipped. The header was skipped, and you are starting the loading the record from the second line. Now you have left with 10 records. Now table has been dropped. This error table has been dropped because there were no error reported. Total insert apply was 9, and you can see total duplicate records is 1. That means one record was not loaded since it was duplicated. And what is the rule says? What is the constitution of Teradata fastload says? The constitution of fastload says that it will not load the duplicate record. It will skip the duplicate record. That is why it has skipped this duplicate record, right? Now you can go, and this is the log of command, and the end return code is 0. End return code is 0. All right. So if your return code is 0, that means you are done. That means the script got executed successfully. Now let me check onto the target table whether the record has been loaded or not. So what was the name of my table? The name of the table was employee underscore stg. Just copy the name of the table and go to the user interface of Teradata. This is the user interface of Teradata tools, which is called as Teradata SQL Assistant, where you can write your queries the way you write your queries in Oracle, DB2, or any other database RDBMS tool. This is also a RDBMS tool where you can write your queries. This is the table name. Okay, let me just query. Select star from this table and just select that query and press F5. See, the data has been loaded. If I do a zoom in so that you can see it quite clearly. If you want to sort the data, just sort the data from here. If you want to filter out the data, just filter out the data from here only. All right. So this is the data which has been loaded into my target table. So what is the learning, or what is the outcome from here? The learning from here is that your target table should be empty. First of all, that is a fast load. And the second thing is that it will only load the data into a single table, not to a multiple table. This is your Teradata fast load. Now, once the data gets loaded, okay, the data should go for reporting purpose. All right, the data should go for reporting purpose. For reporting purpose, what you do is you can use any other tool, whatever available into the market. We can use Tableau for our reporting purpose. All right, so I'm just opening that reporting tool called Tableau, and I can connect to any of the Excel file which is available with me, and I can work with that particular tool for my reporting purpose. All right. See, I have inserted that particular file, that is Global Superstore 2016. It was an Excel file. There was 3 tabs available onto it. Let me show you the Excel file itself. First of all, this was the file which I have connected with my Tableau tool. Okay, let me zoom in so that you can see it quite clearly. This is the data which I have. This data seems to be with some e-commerce website, right? Where some order ID is there, with some order date is there, shipping date is there, customer ID is there, customer name is there, sales is how much sales we have done, how much quantity we have sold. So this kind of data we have available. Okay, so this is the source file which I have connected with my Tableau software. And there are 3 tabs available into this Tableau software, so, into this particular Excel file. What was the 3 tabs? One was orders tab, one was people, and one was return. So we have not seen people and returns tab, we have only seen the orders tab. So we'll be working with the orders tab only, right? Now to work with this orders tab or to work with this Excel file to create some data visualization, what we need to do? We just have to drag and drop this orders tab into this work area. All right, and all the data which was there in the Excel file, now all the data is available with me in my Tableau software only. Now I can play with this data like anything to create my data visualization. As I told you that the business people, the non-technical people, they won't be happy, or they won't go into your Excel file to do an analysis of your data. They want some data visualization. They want some graphs and charts and reports and dashboard and storyline, so that they can analyze the data and they can do, or they can make some business decisions. So this is how Tableau use to create your data visualization. All right. And to create a data visualization in Tableau, it's a very easy task. Even though there are a lot of in-depth concept available, there are a lot of functions and features available in Tableau which needs to be learned as far as your advanced knowledge is concerned. But for the basic purpose, if you go to your sheet 1, here you can create your data visualization very easily. Now someone can ask me, the similar work can be done in Excel file also. All right, but it's a very tedious and a very hectic task in Excel file. And if you have to create a dashboard and some storylines, it will be a nightmare for you if you're working with your Excel file to create some data visualization. But as far as data visualization is concerned, Tableau and Power BI, they both are really good tool and the best tool which are available in the market as far as your data visualization is concerned. Okay, so this is the data which is available with me, and now I can play with the data like anything. These are the columns which were there. Now what Tableau does, or what Tableau usually do, Tableau does like they segregate your data in terms of 2 sections. They segregate your number of columns, your field, in 2 sections. One is dimension and the other one is measures. One is dimension and the other one is measure. Now the question arises, what is dimension and what is a measure? What is a dimension and what is a measure? First of all your text column, all your geographical column, like your customer ID, your customer name, your calendar, your order date, your shipping date, so, and all your geographical column like city, state, country, Tableau segregate that data as a dimension. Tableau segregate that column as a dimension. Now what about measures? Measures are nothing but a numbers on which you have to perform your mathematical calculation. In one line, the bottom line is that measures are your mathematical numbers on which you have to perform some mathematical calculation, but here these are the dimension. Okay, now let's suppose someone asks you what is the difference between a dimension and a measure. Then if I say you 2000, what is the meaning of that 2000? If I say you 2 lakh, then what is the meaning of that 2 lakh? If I tell you that the sales for Rajasthan is 2 lakh, then the 2 lakh has something meaning. So Rajasthan is a dimension and 2 lakh is a measure. Only Rajasthan has no meaning. Only 2 lakh has no meaning. But if I say that sales for Rajasthan is 2 lakh rupees, that means Rajasthan is a dimension and 2 lakh is a sales. If I say this is the marketing people, this is a marketing person whose name is Ram. Ram has done sales for 2 lakh rupees. So Ram is a dimension. He's a salesperson who has done a sales for 2 lakh rupees. So I hope the difference between the dimension and the measure is clear, right? Now I have to create some data visualization. What I have to do is, it's very easy and very convenient in Tableau. You don't have to do anything. This is this is the row shelf and this is the column shelf where you have to just put your field and your work is done. Like let's suppose I have taken this subcategory and put it into column shelf, and I have taken that sales and put it into row shelf. These are column and row shelf where you have to just drag and drop your column, your field. And if you want to sort this out, there is an option available over here. This is a button available here for descending order and for ascending order. All right. So you can sort your data, you can sort your bar chart in terms of ascending order and the descending order. And if you click onto this T button, all the sales, all the respective sales for this subcategory is available over here. All right. Now let me make one more chart for you. This time I'll take category. See, you can see I have a dimension called category. I have a dimension called subcategory, and I have a dimension, I have a measure called sales, right? Let me take this category and put it into column. Let me take this subcategory and put it into column. And let me take this sales and put it into column. Now you can see a chart, category and subcategory wise. This is for furniture category, and this is for office supplies category, and this is for technology category. Okay, and these are the respective subcategories which belongs to this category. And what was the sales? This was the sales. If you want to see the numbers, you can see the numbers by just pressing this T button. Within 5 seconds, within less than 5 seconds, you can create your graph, chart, or data visualization. Even though creating a dashboard is also very easy in your Tableau software. Now let's suppose there can be multiple requirements can come, right? Business can come up with anything. They have their different own set of mind. They can say, I want this, I want that, I can see the view like this, like that. So you have to be ready with the requirement. So some of the requirement is says, first of all, I want to format this chart. Okay, so how do I format this chart so that you can see it quite clearly? Just right click onto this work area and click on format. And you can click onto this particular, this window will come up. So you can easily adjust the font, 12 font, bold and black. So I think this is quite visible very easily and very clearly. So this x-axis belongs to the subcategory, and this is y-axis which belongs to the sales, which is telling you how much sales you have done. And again, if you want the label, this is the pills. These are known as pills which have been generated in the column shelf and in the row shelf. These are known as pills, right? So what I can do is I can take that pill and I can also put it into label. This label will be created, right? Now I do not want this label this way. I want in a horizontal way. Then I have to go to this label. Again, I have to go to this alignment and I have to click over here. Okay, I can get my label the way I want it. If I want to adjust my chart, I can adjust my chart. All right. Now business says me that I do not want this number. They hate numbers. They like percentage values, so that they can analyze the data in a very easy manner. So how do I convert that numbers into percentage values? Then I have to go to this label pill. The moment I have drag and drop this pill into this label box, this label pill has been generated, right? So I have to format this label pill. So how do I format that? You don't have to do anything. You just have to click onto this arrow button, click onto this format, and here the number box, this window has come up. All right. So later on we'll format it. First we'll convert it into a percentage values. So how do I convert this into a percentage values? So click over here, click on quick table calculation and click on percentage of total. Let me repeat that point. I want to convert that text value, that number value into a percentage. Click over here, click on to quick table calculation and click on percentage of total, and your number will be converted. Okay, now your x-axis in thousand and it is in percentage. This doesn't look good. So again, you have to go to this row pill, same step, go to quick table calculation and click on percentage of total. So your excess has also been converted into percentage. Now again, business comes to me for giving me a headache that I do not want this decimal value. I have to remove this decimal value. Then what I can do is again I go to that label pill, click onto this format. The moment I click onto this format, this window will come up. This window will come up. Here I have to go in the number section, go to the number section, go to the custom currency and make it as zero. Sorry, I have to go to this percentage section and make it as zero. All right. Now my percentage has converted into a complete whole number. All right. Again, business have come me and they have told me that we want the chart in terms of some coloring format. We are not liking this color. Then for that you have a color box over here, right? Color box over here. Then what we need to do, we can take this category and put with this take this dimension and put it into color box. Now each and every category has been represented with some different color. Furniture with the blue category, office supplies with the orange category, and the technology has been represented with some red category, right? Now, I don't like this color chart. I don't like this format. What I can do is I can remove this pill, this color pill, and I will be in my previous state. Let's do some experiment. Let's take this subcategory and put it into colors. Now each and every subcategory has been represented with some color and that color legend has been created, which is giving you the indication that this subcategory belongs to this color. But again, this is not giving me much information. I'm not getting much information, but being a data scientist, the primary responsibility is to get some information, right? So take this subcategory pill and out of it. Now what best we can do and what is the best practice? Instead of this dimension, let's take some measures into the color. Now let me take sales and put it into color box. This is giving me some information. What is the information I'm getting? The more the sales is, the more the dark is the color. The less the sales is, the less the light is the color. So this is how I'm getting my data in terms of coloring. All right. And this is how you can create your data visualization in your Tableau software. All right. Now what I can do is I can play with my data in terms of filter also. There is a very powerful features available in terms of filters. How I can filter out my data? I can filter out my data. What I can do is take this category, okay, and put it into filter. This is a filter shelf. This is a column shelf. This is a row shelf. This is a work area, okay, and this is a filter shelf. Now I'll be using this filter shelf to filter out my data. This is a very common, very basic requirement that we want to filter out our data. Then what I can do is I can take this category and put it into filters. All right. Now this window will come up. This window will come up. In this window, there is a first option called general. So let me click on apply and let me click on OK. That filter is available. Now I can play with my filter. I can click onto this and I can click on edit filter. Click on edit filter. I do not want to see the data for office supplies. Uncheck this office supply. I only want to see the data for furniture and technology. Click on apply, click on OK. Your data is got filtered out. Now you're able to see the data with furniture and technology, only for furniture and technology. Again, business has told me we only want to see the data for furniture. Then go to your filter pill, click on edit filter and click on furniture only. Uncheck everything. Click on apply, click on OK. Now you are only able to see the data related to furniture category, right? But don't you think that that's a tedious way? That's a very time consuming way. It is. So that you can now, the solution for this problem is you can create a quick filter. You can create a quick filter, right? Click onto this label pill, click onto this show filter option. Show filter, right? Click onto this. See that filter legend has been created. This quick filter has been created. Now I can see or I can filter out my data like anything, the way I want it. All right. See, if I want to check all, I can check all. Now someone can ask me, I do not want this all button. I only want to see these three. Very easy. You just click onto this arrow button. Here you can go to customize and uncheck this all value. Uncheck this all value button. Now this all value button is not there. Now I can check furniture, office supplies, uncheck the way I want it. Right? This is your filter. But we have just explored one option of filter, that is general filter. If I click onto this category and if I click onto this edit filter, I have multiple options available over here. General, wildcard, and all. What is it? These options. So let me explore this option one by one. Remove this filter first of all. Okay. And what we can do is remove this category also. Right now we only have data related to subcategory. Now I want to play with the subcategories only. Let me take this subcategory and put it over here into the filter itself. Again, that same window will come up, right? This option we have seen at how we can check and uncheck. What is the second option we have? What is the second button we have? The second button we have is wildcard. What is that wildcard? With the help of wildcard, what I can do, I can filter out my data with any specific requirement. Let's suppose I want to see the data which starts, I want to see my subcategory which starts with A only. So let me put A over here. Let's suppose appliances or something like that. Click on apply and click on OK. You will be only able to see the data which starts with A, appliances, accessories, and art. So this is a kind of specific requirement. Again, click over here, go to edit filter, go to your wildcard. Now, if I want to see the data which ends with S, give it as S and click on apply and click on OK. Now you will be only able to see the data whose spellings ends with S only, like phones, copiers, chairs, bookcases, appliances, like that. All right. Again, let me go to this and click on edit filter. This is your wildcard. Okay, I hope this is quite clear to you. Clear this section. Now, what is that third option called condition? What is that condition? Condition means that I want to specify or I want to filter out my data on the basis of some specific condition. What can be the condition? The condition can be that the business only want to see the data whose sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees, whose sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees. All right. Now here we have data in percentage. So let me remove that and let me just let me take that sum of sales one more time. Okay, and let me put that sales into label. So now I have data with some numbers. So what I can do is I can take this subcategory and again put it into filters. Go to this condition tab and let me see what option I can explore. I want to see the data whose sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees. I only want to see that data. I'll select this by field. I go to this sum of sales whose sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees. So here I have to give the value as okay, I've given 10 lakh. Click on apply, click on OK. You will only able to see the data whose sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees. That can be one of the requirement. These are doing really well because their sum of sales is greater than 10 lakh rupees. But business says me that we only want to see the data whose sum of sales is less than 5 lakh. Then again, same step, go to here, click on edit filter, go to this by field and give as less than 5 lakh. And click on apply, click on OK, and there only the data which is related to less than 5 lakh, right? You can only see the data. So these are the area where business can see these are not really performing well. We have to do something with this. We have to deploy a marketing person. We have to spend some money on marketing so the business revenue can be increased for these particular products, for these subcategories. All right. This is how business decisions can be made by the management people. And you can impress your management like any way by creating this visualization. This is very simple and basic things. There are a lot of things and there are a lot of features and functionalities you can explore, and you can create your data visualization and you can impress your management like anything. Or you can work on a Tableau developer project like anything. Go to this edit filter, and what is the last option which we have? The last option says top tab. What is that top tab? Top tab meaning I want to see my data on the basis of top 5. whatever sales on the basis of top 5, I want to see my data. Just give here as top 5, click on apply, click on OK. These are the top 5 sales subcategories. Now someone says me that I only want to see the data for bottom 5, click on button this bottom, and you can see the data for bottom 5 on sum of sales, right? Any other criteria also you can choose, average or something like that. Right now we are seeing a bottom 5 for sum of sales. Click on apply, click on OK. These are the bottom 5 subcategories, which is giving you the bottom 5 sum of sales. So this is how you can play with your subcategory, with your filters, right? So these are the things which is very easily handled and controlled in Tableau or in any data visualization tool. These features you won't find in your Excel file, in your Excel sheet. These are the orthodox method which used to be happened, but nowadays this is a different world. Everybody is running behind this data visualization tool because this is the future, this is the present now. And if you really want to survive in the IT industry, then you have to upskill yourself onto this BI visualization tool. This is not a specific skill nowadays, this is a mandatory skill. This is a mandatory skill. The way you have to be very much good with your MS Office. In the similar way, if you want to create some data visualization, then you have to be ready, or you have to be really much upskill yourself in this data visualization tool like Tableau, which is very much in hot and demand nowadays, right? Yeah, Krishna. As far as the standard is concerned, we are done with this the fast utility which we are you supposed to cover. All right. So we are also just let me show you that also. So we are also running a full-time program on Tableau also. Okay. These are the 20 modules which we are going to cover. We are also running a batch on Teradata as well. So we have a different modules for Teradata, and this is the different modules for Tableau. So these are the 20 modules, the complete course. Tableau overview, these are the filter like interactive filter, context filter, days filter, date filter, context filter, extract filter, data source filter, global filter, all the filters we are going to cover. These are the different options available, or these are different models which we are going to cover. Table calculation, basic time series data, maps and scatter plot, your first dashboard you will be able to clear over here, joining and data blending. So RDBMS concept like left join, right join, inner join, full outer join, all the joinings are also available in the Tableau itself. Dual access chart, advanced data preparation if you have to prepare your data. Then also the most important concept in Tableau called groups and sets, level of detail calculation also we are covering up. Creating animation, this is the most fascinating topic as far as the Tableau is concerned. So we will be creating animations also in Tableau. Conclusion of the complete course. And still, if you're preparing for any interview, as far as the Tableau is concerned, we have a separate bonus section for interview question and answer session, where we'll be covering the top 30 or 50 question and answers, where you will be able to prepare for the interview as well, right? So in that way, you'll be able to work on a practical project. You can crack any interview, and you'll be able to do certification also. So we are also running a full-time program, the advanced course on Tableau and as well as on Teradata as well. So if you are interested onto this full-time course, if you want to upskill yourself, this is the right time. You can upskill yourself in this BI technology, and you can have a bright future also. All right. So if you want to know the recording, or if you want to get the recording of the session, yes, you will be able to get the recording of the session as well. So let me give you the link also. Let me give you the link. This is the link where you can get today's recording. If you click onto this link, you can directly will be redirected to this particular page only, and you can just click onto this Facebook page or onto this Facebook button, and today's recording you will be able to get. The moment you go into our Facebook page, kindly like our page, follow this page so that you will be getting all the notification for the upcoming sessions and the upcoming tools and technology like machine learning and all we are going to talk about. So kindly like our page, and if you're interested onto this full-time course on Tableau or Teradata, then you can come to this page. Number is given over here of our representative. You can speak to him and you can have a full detail about that. All right. So I hope that you will like the session, or you have liked the session and you got some informative information with the session itself, because I personally believe that learning is everything. If you want to upskill yourself, this is the right time, where everybody is struggling with their jobs. So this is the right time to upskill yourself, when you can sustain in the market itself, right? Because learning is everything. So that's it from my end. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thanks a lot, guys. This is Pawan signing off. The batch for this is just the last information. The batch for Tableau is going to start from 1st of August, guys, for the advanced course on Tableau. Thank you, guys.